From Washington, this is VOA News. I'm Steve Miller reporting. U.S. President Donald Trump is set to announce Tuesday whether the U.S. will leave the Iran nuclear deal. VOA's diplomatic correspondent Cindy Sain has more from the State Department.
If the president decides to quit the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or JCPOA, it will have far-reaching consequences for the region and the world. European allies have lobbied hard to try to convince Trump not to abandon the deal. Former Secretary of State John Kerry helped negotiate the deal and has been having conversations with Iran and other partners of the deal in an effort to salvage it. Cindy Sain, VOA News, the State Department.
Armenia's parliament has elected opposition lawmaker Nikol Pashinyan as the country's new prime minister. VOA's Luis Ramirez has that story.
Pashinyan spearheaded weeks of largely peaceful protests that gripped the country in political turmoil. The protests focused on frustration with widespread poverty and corruption in the country, and on former President Serge Sarkisian's becoming prime minister, which was seen as a maneuver to remain the country's leader indefinitely. His election by a 59-42 vote on Tuesday overcomes one hurdle in resolving the crisis, but the Republican Party that he opposed retains a majority in Parliament. Luis Ramirez, VOA News.
The International Monetary Fund warned Tuesday that sub-Saharan Africa nations are at growing risk of debt distress because of heavy borrowing and gaping deficits despite an overall uptick in economic growth. The assessment comes as African countries continue to tap international debt markets and issue record levels of debt in foreign currencies. This is VOA News. The Trump administration is proposing the U.S. Congress make billions of dollars in spending cuts. AP correspondent Jackie Quinn reports.
On the heels of that massive tax cut, the White House is now finalizing a package of proposed spending reductions that could total more than $15 billion. The initial plan was for $11 billion in spending cut, but with pressure from GOP conservatives, the White House went even deeper. The so-called rescissions package is expected to be sent to Congress today. Staffers say about $7 billion in savings will come from unused funding from the Children's Health Insurance Program. The federal deficit is projected to exceed $800 billion this year. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
Ahead of her confirmation hearing Wednesday, the White House is defending acting Central Intelligence Agency Director Gina Haspel as the best person for the job.
We want her to get a fair hearing, a thorough hearing, and we're very confident that not only will all of the members of the Senate see what the rest of us see, and certainly even some of the people that have held that position see, but that Gina is more than qualified to run and lead the agency.
The 61-year-old veteran agency operative offered to withdraw from consideration for the permanent position amid concerns about her involvement in previous harsh interrogation programs. But President Donald Trump, according to administration officials, has encouraged her to hold firm. Two new cracks in the ground emitting lava and gas have opened up in Hawaii, where 35 structures have burned down. Officials say there are 12 fissures in the Leilani Estates. U.S. Geological Survey geologist Janet Babb was asked if there has been any indication of what might come next from the Kilauea volcano.
I think what we can say is this is not over. The seismicity continues. There's still magma within the rift zone, and so I think for the foreseeable future, this eruption is likely to continue.
Residents of the evacuated subdivision are being allowed to check on their properties from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day until further notice, but say residents must be prepared to leave on short notice, according to officials. The UN Refugee Agency on Tuesday said 93 refugees from Myanmar who have been living in camps in Thailand have gone home. They are the second group to return since 2016. That's raising hopes for the eventual closure of some of Asia's oldest refugee camps. About 100,000 refugees from Myanmar, most of them ethnic minority Karen people, have been living in 9 camps in Thailand along their shared border, many since the Myanmar army began sustained offenses against Karen guerrillas in the early 1980s. I'm Steve Miller, VOA News.
That's the latest world news from VOA.